Early reviews are already coming in for the upcoming Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and so far mediocre is probably the best word to describe it. As of the time of this recording, the movie is sitting at a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, but when just viewing the top critics, the score drops to an abysmal 47%. So it's not looking too good all around, and with virtually no hype even surrounding this movie, that's probably why people are expecting it to bomb at the box office. That's probably why the studio has announced this latest stunt of giving away early screening passes to fans of the franchise in order to try to get some good word of mouth prior to the release. However, I have my doubts that this will actually work. Right now, the early projections have it making less than half of what the previously worst Hunger Games movie made during its opening weekend. Of course, the elephant in the room is Rachel Zegler and whether or not her appearance in the movie is the reason why this movie isn't expected to do so well. After all, she's been getting in a lot of hot water lately with comments surrounding her role in Snow White, so one could easily assume audiences' dislike of her could carry over into other major films she's in like this one. However, I'm going to go out on a limb and kind of defend her for a bit, because in all honesty, I think the biggest problem is just the fact that people just aren't excited about a Hunger Games movie anymore. You can even go back and look at the other movies in the Hunger Games franchise to see this. You got the first movie right here that did pretty well. Then the second movie, Catching Fire, was kind of riding the coattails of the first movie. And then you got the last two movies that had diminishing results each time. This is a franchise that's built off a concept that's interesting enough, but it's kind of played its course already. I've said in past videos that Disney is probably watching the performance of this movie closely, because if it succeeds, then they could probably rest easy knowing that Rachel Zegler isn't box office poison after all. However, if it does fail, then they might be second guessing on what they could actually do with Rachel Zegler in the role of Snow White, because they've already done too much on that movie for them just to recast her now. I did say all this though prior to Disney announcing that they're going to be pushing back the release date of Snow White to March of 25, with Disney insiders reportedly saying that the reason they're actually delaying Snow White is to give some time to let the heat die down around her. And she's already lost other work like being recast or maybe even fired from Paddington 3. So maybe it's possible that studios do perceive her as box office poison, even if I think the Hunger Games probably would have failed regardless of her actually being in it. In all honesty, the biggest takeaway from here is people just are tired from these mindless cash grab remakes and reimaginings and prequels and all this other stuff, just to be a bit more creative and make something original for a change.